The Stoic Man's Guide to Navigating Relationships, a Journey to Self-Mastery. Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to a journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy, where we dissect the principles of self-mastery and their profound impact on relationships. In this expansive exploration, we will delve into the essential qualities that define a high-value man, a man who embodies strength, independence, and unwavering respect, not only for himself, but also for those he chooses to share his life with. Too often, men stumble into the complex world of relationships, unaware of the subtle pitfalls that can erode their self-worth and compromise their integrity. This exploration, steeped in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, will arm you with the knowledge and understanding to navigate these challenges with grace, fortitude, and an unwavering commitment to your principles. We will examine the crucial behaviors a high-value man avoids in his interactions with women, behaviors that, if unchecked, can lead to dependence, insecurity, and ultimately, a diminished sense of self. By internalizing these principles, you will not only cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships, but also unlock a deeper understanding of your own inherent worth. Prepare to embark on a transformative journey toward becoming the best version of yourself, a man who embodies the Stoic ideals of virtue, reason, and unwavering self-reliance. Let us explore what a high-value man, guided by Stoic principles, should never do when faced with the complexities and trials of relationships with women. Introducing the bedrock principle, unwavering adherence to one's values. First and foremost, never sacrifice your values. A high-value man stands as an unyielding fortress of principles, impervious to the siren call of compromise. He understands that his values are the bedrock upon which his character is built, the guiding stars that illuminate his path through life. He recognizes that true strength lies not in bending to the whims of others, but in steadfastly upholding his moral compass, even when faced with the most alluring temptations. Stoicism, at its core, champions living in accordance with virtue, with reason, and with the inherent goodness that resides within each of us. This philosophy stresses that true strength emerges not from external achievements or accolades, but from internal alignment of our actions with our deeply held beliefs. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, eloquently articulated this principle when he said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." These simple yet profound words serve as a constant reminder that integrity must be the unwavering guide of every action, every decision, every interaction. Consider the allure of compromising one's values to appease a partner. Perhaps it's a small compromise at first, a bending of your beliefs to avoid conflict or to gain approval. But these seemingly insignificant concessions can quickly snowball, eroding your sense of self and leaving you feeling hollow and resentful. When a man compromises his values to please others, he risks losing something far more precious, his sense of self. He becomes a chameleon, constantly shifting his colors to match the environment, losing his true identity in the process. The insidious nature of this compromise often begins with the desire to impress. In the intoxicating early stages of a relationship, the desire to be liked, to be admired, to be loved can be overwhelming. The temptation to present an idealized version of yourself, one that you believe will be more appealing to your partner, can be difficult to resist. But a high-value man understands that true connection cannot be built on a foundation of falsehood. He knows that genuine respect, the kind of respect that endures the test of time, comes from standing firm in his convictions, even when those convictions are unpopular or challenging. He embraces authenticity, knowing that true connection is forged when two individuals meet each other, flaws and all, with open hearts and honest intentions. It is the ability to say no when everyone else is saying yes, to stand apart from the crowd, to resist the pressure to conform that truly sets a high-value man apart. He possesses an inner compass that guides him through the treacherous waters of social pressure and temptation, a compass that is calibrated to his own deeply held values. He understands that compromising on these core values, even for the sake of acceptance or love, can lead to long-term resentment and dissatisfaction. He may gain temporary approval, but he will ultimately lose something far more valuable: his self-respect. While relationships are undoubtedly built on understanding and compromise, a high-value man recognizes the limits of sacrifice. He understands that boundaries are essential for maintaining a healthy sense of self, for protecting his mental and emotional well-being. These boundaries are not arbitrary walls erected to keep others out. Rather, they are carefully constructed fences designed to protect his inner garden, the garden of his values, his beliefs, and his aspirations. When a man remains fiercely loyal to his principles, he radiates an aura of confidence and self-assurance that is undeniably attractive. Others are naturally drawn to his unwavering integrity, to his refusal to compromise his beliefs for the sake of expediency or approval. They see in him a man of substance, a man of conviction, a man who can be trusted to stand his ground in the face of adversity. Ultimately, the key to maintaining this unwavering commitment to one's values lies in self-reliance. As the Stoics so eloquently taught, the only thing we truly have control over is our own mind and our own actions. Everything else, the opinions of others, the vagaries of fortune, the fleeting nature of external events, is beyond our direct control. Therefore, a high-value man focuses his energy on cultivating inner strength, on honing his character, and on living in accordance with his values, regardless of the external circumstances. He refuses to surrender his inner compass to the whims of others, knowing that his true worth lies not in their approval, but in his own unwavering commitment to virtue. Never lose sight of your inner values, for they are the true markers of your strength and your personal worth. Shifting the focus inward, the source of true validation. The second cardinal rule: never seek validation from her. Stoicism, in its profound wisdom, teaches us that the source of true validation lies not in the external world, but within ourselves. It is a philosophy that champions self-sufficiency, inner resilience, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement, independent of the opinions or approval of others. A high-value man understands that his worth is not determined by the fleeting praise or admiration of others, including women. He recognizes that seeking validation externally, particularly within the context of a relationship, is a recipe for insecurity, dependence, and ultimately, a diminished sense of self. The allure of seeking validation from a partner is understandable. We are social creatures, wired for connection and approval. The desire to be loved, to be admired, to be seen as worthy in the eyes of another, is a deeply ingrained human need. However, a high-value man understands that this need must be tempered with a healthy dose of self-reliance. He recognizes that placing his self-worth in the hands of another is a dangerous proposition, one that leaves him vulnerable to manipulation, disappointment, and a constant state of anxiety. Instead of seeking validation externally, a Stoic man focuses his energy on self-growth and the development of his own character. He understands that true confidence comes from within, from the quiet assurance that he is living in accordance with his values, that he is striving to become the best version of himself, regardless of the opinions of others. He sets ambitious goals for himself, both personally and professionally, and relentlessly pursues them, not for the sake of external recognition, but for the sake of his own self-improvement. Stoicism emphasizes that the only control we truly have is over our own thoughts and actions. We cannot control the opinions of others, nor can we control the external circumstances that life throws our way. But we can control our own responses to these external stimuli. We can choose to react with reason, with equanimity, and with an unwavering commitment to virtue. A high-value man embraces this principle, understanding that his inner world is his own domain, a domain that he alone has the power to cultivate and control. He does not need constant reassurance from a woman to feel secure in his own skin. His confidence stems from his inner understanding of who he is, what he stands for, and what he is capable of achieving. He is content in his own company, comfortable with his own thoughts, and confident in his ability to navigate the challenges of life independently. This self-reliance is not only essential for personal well-being, but is also the cornerstone of strong, healthy relationships. When a man is secure in his own self-worth, he removes the pressure of seeking constant validation from his partner. He is free to be himself, authentic and unburdened by the need to impress or to manipulate. This authenticity creates a space for genuine connection, for a relationship built on mutual respect and acceptance, rather than on a foundation of neediness and insecurity. When a man is content with himself, when he is at peace with his own inner world, the right people will naturally be drawn to him, without the need for constant affirmation or external validation. He becomes a beacon of authenticity, attracting those who value genuine connection and self-reliance. Focus on your own growth, on cultivating your inner strength, and on living in accordance with your values, and the right people will naturally gravitate toward you, drawn to the magnetic pull of authenticity. Maintaining focus, the unwavering pursuit of purpose. Third, never neglect your purpose for her. Your purpose, your mission in life, the driving force that propels you forward, should always be your primary focus. It is the North Star that guides you through the darkness, the unwavering beacon that illuminates your path. Stoicism, with its emphasis on personal fulfillment and the pursuit of virtue, recognizes the centrality of purpose in living a meaningful life. Seneca, the Roman statesman and philosopher, wisely stated, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This profound statement underscores the importance of courage and persistence in the pursuit of our ambitions. It reminds us that the obstacles we face are often self-imposed, born from our own fear and doubt. A high-value man understands this principle, embracing the challenges that lie before him, knowing that it is through overcoming these challenges that he grows stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Too often, people allow challenges or distractions, particularly in the context of relationships, to derail them from their goals. The allure of immediate gratification, the pull of emotional drama, the temptation to prioritize the needs of others over their own, can all lead to a neglect of one's purpose. But a high-value man remains steadfast in his commitment to his path, refusing to allow external forces to extinguish the fire that burns within him. Relationships are undoubtedly important. They provide companionship, support, and love, enriching our lives in countless ways. However, they should never overshadow your life's mission. A high-value man understands the need for balance, for maintaining a healthy equilibrium between his personal life and his pursuit of purpose. He does not allow the emotional aspects of a relationship to consume him, to distract him from his goals, or to compromise his values. It is easy to become consumed by the emotional roller coaster of a relationship, to become entangled in the drama and the complexities of human connection. But a Stoic man understands the need for detachment, for maintaining a degree of emotional distance that allows him to see the situation clearly and to respond with reason rather than with impulsive emotion. He recognizes that fleeting distractions and external pressures are inevitable, but he refuses to allow them to deter him from what truly matters, his commitment to his purpose. Staying focused on your goals requires discipline, an unwavering commitment to self-improvement, and the ability to prioritize your time and energy effectively. It is this discipline that sets a high-value man apart, that distinguishes him from those who drift aimlessly through life, succumbing to the whims of circumstance and the fleeting desires of the moment. He is a man of action, a man of purpose, a man who is driven by a deep-seated desire to make a meaningful contribution to the world. Remember, maintaining your purpose is not only vital for your own personal success and fulfillment, but it is also essential for fostering healthy, meaningful relationships that align with your values. A woman who truly respects you will admire your ambition, support your goals, and encourage you to pursue your dreams. She will not demand that you sacrifice your purpose for her, but rather She will celebrate your achievements and stand by your side as you navigate the challenges of life. Mastering composure, responding rather than reacting. Fourth, never react emotionally to manipulation. A high-value man embodies the Stoic ideal of emotional control, remaining calm and composed even in situations where emotions are running high. He understands that his emotions are powerful forces, capable of influencing his thoughts, his actions, and his relationships. But he also knows that he has the power to regulate these emotions, to prevent them from overwhelming him and leading him down a path of regret. Stoicism, at its core, champions the virtue of emotional control. It teaches us that true strength lies not in suppressing our emotions, but in understanding them, in accepting them, and in responding to them with reason and equanimity. It is a philosophy that recognizes the inherent value of emotions as sources of information, but that also cautions against allowing emotions to dictate our behavior. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound statement encapsulates the essence of Stoic emotional control. It reminds us that while we cannot control the actions of others, nor can we control the external circumstances that life throws our way, we can always control our own responses to these external stimuli. We can choose to react with anger, with resentment, with fear, or we can choose to react with reason, with compassion, and with an unwavering commitment to virtue. A high-value man does not allow a woman's words or actions to manipulate his emotions. He understands that manipulation is a tool used by those who seek to control others, to exploit their weaknesses, and to undermine their sense of self-worth. He recognizes the signs of manipulation, the subtle attempts to guilt him, to shame him, to intimidate him, and he refuses to allow himself to be swayed by these tactics. When faced with conflict or provocation, a high-value man does not react impulsively. He does not lash out in anger, nor does he withdraw in fear. Instead, he takes a step back, analyzes the situation with a clear and rational mind, and responds with deliberate composure. He understands that emotional outbursts only serve to weaken his position, to cloud his judgment, and to give the manipulator the upper hand. By staying grounded in reason and focused on logic, a high-value man maintains his dignity and avoids being swayed by external forces. He remains in control of his emotions, rather than being controlled by them. He refuses to allow the actions of others to dictate his internal state, understanding that his emotional well-being is his own responsibility. This emotional resilience not only strengthens his character, but also earns him respect from others. They see in him a man who is not easily shaken by the actions of those around him, a man who remains calm and composed in the face of adversity. They admire his ability to maintain his composure, to think clearly under pressure, and to respond to challenges with reason and grace. Prioritizing self, the foundation of healthy relationships. Fifth, never prioritize her over your well-being. Sacrificing your own well-being for the sake of a relationship will inevitably lead to resentment, weakness, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-care and the pursuit of virtue, recognizes the importance of maintaining balance in all aspects of life, including relationships. When you consistently prioritize someone else's needs over your own, you begin to erode your sense of self-worth. You send a message to yourself and to others that your own needs are less important, that your own desires are less valid. This can lead to a cycle of self-neglect, where you become increasingly focused on pleasing others, while neglecting your own mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Relationships built on self-sacrifice at the expense of your own well-being are ultimately unsustainable. They may appear to be loving and supportive on the surface, but beneath the facade, resentment and bitterness are brewing. You may begin to feel trapped, resentful of the sacrifices you have made, and longing for a life that is more aligned with your own values and aspirations. Remember, you can only be your best self for others if you are first taking care of yourself. This does not mean being selfish or neglecting the needs of your partner. Rather, It means understanding that your own mental, emotional, and physical health are the foundations of a healthy relationship. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are depleted and exhausted, you'll have nothing left to give to your partner. Self-respect must always come before pleasing others. This does not mean being arrogant or self-centered. Rather, it means understanding that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness, and that you have a responsibility to protect your own well-being. When you hold strong to your boundaries, when you prioritize your own needs, and when you care for yourself with compassion and respect, you're in a much better position to offer genuine support and love to your partner without losing sight of who you are. A high-value man understands that maintaining his own well-being is not only essential for his own happiness and fulfillment, but it is also crucial for the strength and stability of his relationships. He recognizes that a healthy relationship is one where both partners are able to maintain their individuality, to pursue their own interests, and to support each other's personal growth. Commanding respect, setting unwavering boundaries. Sixth, never allow her to disrespect you. A high-value man never tolerates disrespect, understanding that his dignity and self-worth are non-negotiable. He recognizes that respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and that without it, the relationship is doomed to fail. Boundaries are essential for maintaining self-respect. They are the invisible lines that define your limits, that protect your mental and emotional well-being, and that communicate to others how you expect to be treated. A Stoic man knows when it is time to walk away from situations or relationships that compromise his values, that disrespect his boundaries, and that undermine his sense of self-worth. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This profound statement reflects the Stoic belief that true strength lies not in retaliation, but in maintaining your own moral character. A high-value man does not seek revenge on those who disrespect him. He does not stoop to their level, nor does he engage in petty arguments or emotional outbursts. Instead, he simply walks away, knowing that his own self-respect is far more valuable than any fleeting sense of satisfaction he might gain from retaliating. Allowing disrespect into your life diminishes your self-respect and invites further harm. It sends a message to others that you are willing to tolerate mistreatment, that your boundaries are weak, and that you do not value yourself enough to demand respect. When you tolerate disrespect, you signal to others that it is acceptable to treat you poorly, and you open the door to further abuse. Instead, a high-value man holds firm boundaries, understanding that by demanding respect, he strengthens his own character and the relationships he chooses to maintain. He communicates his boundaries clearly and assertively, letting others know what he will and will not tolerate. He does not hesitate to walk away from those who refuse to respect his boundaries, knowing that his own self-respect is paramount. Walking away from those who disrespect you is not a sign of weakness. It is an assertion of your own value. It is a declaration that you will not tolerate mistreatment, that you value yourself enough to demand respect, and that you are willing to walk away from any relationship that compromises your self-worth. Don't lower yourself by engaging in toxic behavior or allowing others to devalue you. Don't stoop to their level, nor allow their negativity to infect your own thoughts and actions. Instead, remain true to your own values, uphold your principles, and demand respect in return. Cultivating detachment, the path to inner peace. Seventh, never be overly attached. Attachment, as the Stoics warn, is a source of suffering. It ties our happiness to external factors, to things beyond our control, and it leaves us vulnerable to disappointment, loss, and emotional turmoil. A high-value man practices detachment, recognizing that nothing in life is permanent, that people will come and go, and that circumstances will inevitably change. This mindset helps him to avoid unnecessary suffering when relationships or situations change. He understands that change is an inevitable part of life, and that clinging to things that are destined to pass only leads to pain and disappointment. He embraces impermanence, accepting that everything in life is fleeting, including his relationships. Stoicism emphasizes emotional independence as the key to maintaining inner peace and stability. It teaches us that true happiness comes not from external sources, but from within ourselves, from our own ability to cultivate virtue, to live in accordance with reason, and to accept the things we cannot change. Epictetus poignantly reminded us of life's fleeting nature when he said, "You are a little soul carrying a corpse." This stark statement serves as a powerful reminder that everything we experience in life is temporary, including our relationships, our possessions, and our physical bodies. It encourages us to focus on what truly matters, on cultivating inner strength, on living in accordance with virtue, and on making a meaningful contribution to the world. By cultivating inner strength and focusing on what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, a Stoic man ensures that he remains resilient in the face of change. He does not become overly dependent on someone else's presence for his sense of fulfillment or happiness. He understands that true strength comes from within, and that by maintaining a healthy level of detachment, he protects himself from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies attachment. Practicing detachment does not mean rejecting relationships or avoiding emotional intimacy. Rather, it means engaging with relationships from a place of self-reliance, where your sense of worth is not tied to anyone else's presence or approval. It means loving freely, without clinging, without demanding, and without placing unrealistic expectations on others. It means accepting that relationships are a gift, to be cherished and enjoyed, but not to be clung to so tightly that you lose your own sense of self. Avoiding drama, prioritizing inner peace. Eighth, never engage in drama. Drama is a waste of energy, a distraction from what truly matters, and a detriment to inner peace. A high-value man avoids it at all costs. He recognizes that drama is a form of emotional manipulation, a way for people to draw attention to themselves, to create conflict, and to control others. In the Stoic philosophy, emotional disturbances are seen as distractions from living a virtuous and fulfilling life. They cloud our judgment, distort our perceptions, and prevent us from acting with reason and clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to focus on what we can control, and drama falls far outside of that control. We cannot control the actions of others, nor can we control the circumstances that create drama. But we can control our own responses to these external stimuli. We can choose to engage in the drama, or we can choose to disengage, to maintain our composure, and to focus on what truly matters. Engaging in unnecessary conflict or emotional turbulence only serves to pull us away from our goals and inner peace. It drains our energy, distracts our attention, and leaves us feeling depleted and exhausted. A high-value man understands that drama is a distraction from the clarity and steadiness of mind that Stoicism promotes. Instead of getting caught up in arguments or trivial conflicts, he maintains his composure, remains calm and collected, and keeps his focus on what truly matters: his values, his goals, and his own personal growth. He recognizes that engaging in drama only serves to perpetuate the cycle of negativity and conflict. Refusing to get involved in needless drama protects his energy and mental well-being, allowing him to direct his attention toward more meaningful pursuits. It frees him from the emotional burden of constantly navigating interpersonal conflicts and allows him to focus on activities that bring him joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. Peace of mind is essential for a Stoic, and avoiding drama ensures that he remains grounded and centered in the face of external challenges. It allows him to approach life with a sense of equanimity, to accept the things he cannot change, and to focus his energy on the things he can control. Earning attraction, radiating self-assuredness. Ninth, never chase her attention. As the saying goes, what belongs to you will find you. A high-value man understands this principle deeply. He does not chase after what he desires. Instead, he attracts it through his presence, his character, and his unwavering self-confidence. This mindset allows him to approach relationships with authenticity and confidence, avoiding the pitfalls of desperation, neediness, and insecurity. He understands that true attraction is not something that can be forced or manufactured. Rather, it is something that arises naturally when two individuals connect on a deeper level. Constantly seeking a woman's attention can lead to insecurity and unhealthy dynamics in a relationship. It can create a sense of imbalance, where one person is constantly seeking approval from the other, and the other person is put in a position of power. This dynamic can lead to resentment, manipulation, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. A high-value man remains grounded and self-assured, knowing that true attraction comes from being genuine and confident in himself. He does not need to impress anyone, nor does he need to seek constant validation from others. He knows that his worth is not defined by external approval, but by his actions, his values, and how he lives his life. By letting his actions speak for themselves, he naturally draws others to him. He cultivates qualities that are inherently attractive, such as integrity, kindness, resilience, and a genuine interest in others, without the need to chase or prove himself. He focuses on becoming the best version of himself, on pursuing his goals, and on living a life that is aligned with his values. In doing so, he creates an environment where meaningful connections can flourish, built on mutual respect, genuine interest, and a shared desire for personal growth. He attracts individuals who are drawn to his authenticity, his strength, and his unwavering commitment to living a virtuous life. Ultimately, a high-value man knows that what is meant for him will come in due time. He does not need to chase after love, approval, or success. He simply focuses on becoming the best version of himself, trusting that the right opportunities and the right people will naturally gravitate toward him. He understands that true happiness comes not from seeking external validation, but from cultivating inner peace and living in accordance with his values. Emotional mastery, the cornerstone of healthy relationships. 10th, never allow your emotions to control you. In relationships, emotions can often run high, creating intense situations that challenge our composure and test our self-control. A Stoic man, however, remains steady and composed, understanding the importance of emotional regulation and the power of reason. As Epictetus wisely stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This profound statement highlights that true freedom comes from self-mastery, from the ability to control our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. A high-value man understands the significance of keeping his emotions in check, of preventing them from overwhelming him and leading him down a path of destruction. He understands that allowing himself to be governed by anger, jealousy, or neediness can lead to destructive outcomes, both for himself and for his relationships. He recognizes that emotions are powerful forces, but that they should not be allowed to dictate his behavior. Instead of reacting impulsively, he takes a step back to assess his feelings and his responses, ensuring that his actions align with his values and his long-term goals. He practices emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and to maintain his composure in the face of adversity. By practicing emotional resilience, a Stoic man fosters healthier interactions and creates a stable environment for himself and others. He is able to communicate his feelings effectively without resorting to anger or manipulation. He is able to listen to others with empathy and understanding, without allowing their emotions to overwhelm him. This approach not only enhances his own well-being, but also earns him respect and admiration from those around him. They see in him a man who is in control of his emotions, a man who is able to think clearly under pressure, and a man who is able to respond to challenges with reason and grace. Ultimately, mastering one's emotions is a hallmark of strength and maturity, allowing for deeper and more meaningful connections in relationships. It creates a space for open communication, for mutual understanding, and for a shared commitment to personal growth. Setting limits, protecting your time and energy. 11th, never overcommit to please her. Committing beyond your limits to please someone else is a significant mistake, one that can lead to burnout, resentment, and a diminished sense of self-worth. A high-value man recognizes his priorities and remains steadfast in his decisions, understanding that his time and energy are valuable resources that should be used wisely. He understands that compromising his values or stretching himself too thin for someone else's approval ultimately leads to resentment and burnout. He recognizes that he cannot be everything to everyone, and that he must prioritize his own needs and his own well-being. It is crucial not to let anyone guilt-trip you into doing things that don't align with your values or your capacity. A high-value man communicates his boundaries clearly, letting others know what he is willing to do and what he is not willing to do. He does not allow others to manipulate him into overcommitting or sacrificing his own needs. He understands that true respect in relationships comes from mutual understanding and acceptance, not from constantly sacrificing your own needs to please the other person. He prioritizes self-care, ensuring that he has enough time for rest, relaxation, and activities that bring him joy and fulfillment. He remains aware of his own needs, ensuring that he does not overextend himself in ways that compromise his integrity or his well-being. By standing firm in his commitments and recognizing his limits, he fosters healthy relationships built on honesty, respect, and mutual understanding. He creates a space where both partners are able to maintain their individuality, to pursue their own interests, and to support each other's personal growth. A high-value man understands that it's better to say no when necessary than to agree out of obligation. He recognizes that saying yes when you really want to say no leads to resentment and burnout. He is not afraid to assert his boundaries and to prioritize his own needs, knowing that this is essential for maintaining his own well-being and for fostering healthy relationships. This strength not only enhances his own life, but also sets a positive example for others, encouraging them to value their own boundaries as well. He inspires others to prioritize their own needs, to assert their boundaries, and to live in accordance with their values. Self-knowledge, the ultimate source of strength. 12th, and finally, never forget your own worth. At the end of the day, a high-value man knows his own worth. He understands that self-value is not contingent on the opinions or actions of others. Rather, it is an intrinsic quality that resides within himself. He recognizes that his worth is not determined by his accomplishments, his possessions, or his relationships. Rather, it is determined by his character, his values, and his unwavering commitment to living a virtuous life. It's essential not to allow anyone to make you feel lesser or unworthy. A high-value man does not allow others to define his self-worth. He does not seek validation from external sources, but rather, he cultivates a deep sense of self-acceptance and self-love. The Stoics firmly believed in the inherent strength of the individual, emphasizing that true power comes from within. Seneca wisely stated, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." This principle serves as a reminder that your value is intrinsic and should never be dictated by external validation. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness simply because you exist. A high-value man cultivates self-awareness and self-respect, ensuring that he stands firm in his beliefs and recognizes his own contributions to the world. He understands his strengths and weaknesses, and he accepts himself unconditionally. He recognizes that he is a work in progress, constantly striving to become the best version of himself. By internalizing this understanding, he can navigate relationships and challenges with confidence and resilience. He is not swayed by the opinions of others, nor is he easily discouraged by setbacks. He remains true to himself, knowing that his own self-worth is his greatest asset. Ultimately, knowing your worth empowers you to engage in healthy, balanced relationships while fostering an environment where respect and appreciation thrive. It allows you to set boundaries, to communicate your needs effectively, and to walk away from relationships that are not aligned with your values. A high-value man embodies this self-assuredness, setting a standard for how he wishes to be treated and inspiring others to recognize their own value as well. He is a beacon of self-respect, attracting those who value authenticity, integrity, and a genuine commitment to living a virtuous life. He understands that true happiness comes not from seeking external validation, but from cultivating inner peace and living in accordance with his own deeply held values. Being a high-value man in today's world means living by principles, standing firm in your values, and remaining emotionally grounded, even in the face of adversity. It means cultivating inner strength, practicing self-reliance, and pursuing a life that is aligned with your own deeply held beliefs. By following these 12 rules, you embody the very essence of Stoic philosophy, embracing the virtues of reason, courage, justice, and temperance. You become a man of substance, a man of integrity, and a man who is worthy of respect and admiration. Remember, strength doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. It comes from cultivating inner peace, practicing self-discipline, and living in accordance with your values. Stay focused on your goals, stay strong in your convictions, and as always, practice the art of Stoicism. By embracing these principles, you will not only cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships, but also unlock a deeper understanding of your own inherent worth. You will become a man who is not easily swayed by the opinions of others, a man who is resilient in the face of adversity, and a man who is driven by a deep-seated desire to make a meaningful contribution to the world. And so, we conclude this exploration into the mind of the Stoic man, armed with the wisdom to navigate the complexities of relationships and the tools to cultivate a life of purpose, integrity, and unwavering self-respect. Prioritize values. Never compromise your core beliefs for anyone. Seek internal validation. Your worth is not defined by external approval. Maintain your purpose. Relationships should not eclipse your life's mission. Control your emotions. Respond calmly. Avoid impulsive reactions to manipulation. Value your well-being. Self-care is paramount, not selfish. Demand respect. Set boundaries and walk away from disrespect. Practice detachment. Avoid over-attachment and dependence. Avoid drama. Steer clear of unnecessary conflict and emotional turmoil. Attract, don't chase. Radiate confidence and let genuine connections form naturally. Master emotions. Regulate emotions for stability and healthy communication. Respect commitments. Clearly define your limits and avoid overcommitting. Know your worth. Internalize self-value regardless of external factors. If you found this exploration helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Monarch for more insights into Stoic philosophy and living your best life. Your engagement fuels our mission to spread the wisdom of the ancients and empower individuals to live lives of purpose, integrity, and unwavering self-respect.